Hello and welcome to Scale War Machines. Time for another guide looking at popular modelling products. Here's what we'll be looking at this time. We've received a load of new releases from Verlinden Productions of America. This represents all their new products for November 2014. We've been sent them so we can have a quick look at them and you get a flavour for what Verlinden Productions has recently released. Their specialism is using resin to make their kits and products. They release vehicle upgrades, figure sets, diorama products and conversion kits. We'll break them down into figures, diorama accessories and then anything that's left over, so we can quickly run through all the releases. So let's get started. First up in the figures we've got this 2800 US Mechanics World War II. Now this may not strictly be a new release. If some of you remember the old catalogues, these figures look familiar to us, but it's good to see them re-released, and it's a 3-figure set. Verlinden is a specialist in resin casting, so the standard will always be high. Next up, this is a great idea for a release, featuring a subject matter that isn't always covered by model manufacturers. So we've got a wounded soldier and a US medic. Under reference number 2803. 2796 is a 1/16 scale or 120mm release. German infantryman, France, May 1940. And it looks like a very attractive figure to paint, very cleanly cast. Next up, it's a Vietnam release, a US Tunnel Rat 2797 with a dog. That's a great idea for a diorama. Interesting subject matter. There's a relatively small number of parts. You get some grenades and accessories. More figures for you, this time in a different scale. 2801 and 2805 are 54mm figures. These are more geared towards the traditional figure painters who work in that scale. As expected, the moulding quality is excellent, particularly where you see all these chain and armour details. Very hard to produce something like that in injection moulding. The Charging Viking 2805 has a really exciting pose. The face has some convincing beard detail. The chainmail is very realistic. The wood is very well rendered as well. Here's another 120mm or 1/16 scale figure. The Afrika Korps Officer, reference 2806. If we take the torso, you can see the level of detailing and sculpting. There are no air bubbles or anything here. The resin is very well cast. There's the head. Should certainly prove to be an interesting model to test your painting skills. This one is even bigger, Erwin Rommel, 2798. It's a quarter scale bust. Great subject, of course. Everything is finely reproduced and sculpted, and you can see for yourself the level of detail on the castings. There we can see the uniform details. You can see here that you've got a great base to bring this resin figure to life. Here's an overview of their diorama type releases. This is a vignette, Lone Survivor vignette with 3 figures, 2 of whom have been killed and 1 is a survivor. It's all moulded in one piece on this large slab of resin. The resin base seems to reference winter in an urban environment, possibly Stalingrad. It'll be interesting to paint that scene. 2807 is Ruined Factory Corner, 1/35 scale, and it's just a simple wall really, but very useful for displaying your vehicles or figures. And you've got yourself a very convincing old style brick wall there, 1/35 scale, ready to use on your dioramas. And again for dioramas 2808, Verlinden Productions does a line called Super Value where you get slightly more in the packet. This is their food release. You can see from the bag just how much stuff you're getting. As part of the set you get sacks of potatoes and baskets, as well as crates containing vegetables and so on. There's even a cheese and some sausages. So there's plenty there to make your dioramas come alive. Another one for Vietnam fans, 2799, their flamethrower turret for the M113. You're not going to be able to put a figure inside as it's solid unless you do some pretty heavy drilling. If you are converting the Tamiya kit, for example, you've got all you need here under reference 2799. Rounding everything off is this. You've got a lifelike replica of what a real F16 control stick would look like. It's 1:1 scale, so it's life size. That's probably one of the biggest lumps of resin we've ever seen, but it's immaculately cast. There's all the other components. It's certainly an original choice of subject matter. You don't get any decals, so you have to do the markings your own way. That completes our roundup. We hope you found this useful as a quick introduction to what's new from Verlinden Productions. There's more videos on the website, and you can check out our Facebook, Google+, and Twitter communities. Bye for now.